Talking to Hanover area football here on the Mendola Show. Our head coach Mike McCabe with us, and Mike, let's talk about the off season, how things went from December up until we're approaching August, coming up pretty quick.
It got interesting, John. One, I was excited to get rehired early so we can get back at it. You know, last year was a tough year, and we have to learn from it. You know, some stuff we couldn't overcome, had to play a lot of young kids, and it's been real neat to watch these young kids develop. We figured when we sat down as a staff what we needed to do. One, we needed to be, a more physical, stronger team. Our last weight test, we had 25 out of 37 kids hit goal and make their club, so we were pretty excited about that. We figured we had to be a much better conditioned team, and we've been running them like it's been hard. It's almost like a Rocky type movie. And the last thing is we figured we had to be a better tackling team. And one of the clinics we saw up at the casino up here, we sat in on the Army staff's talk, and they talked about the rugby style of tackling. And then we reached out to the King's College rugby coaches, Dr. John, and I can't even try to pronounce his last name. He's also a doctor of exercise science. Originally we wanted to just talk to them and see how they taught, but they wound up coming to basically twice a week and working with our kids throughout the summer. So it's been a great, great off season. Hopefully that's going to, continue and transition as we move into the season.
Let's talk a little bit about that offensive line, defensive lines this year. It's going to be a strong point for you, and then what you do behind that will be important as well. But up front is where it's at.
Mm-hmm. Again, we had to look off season and see who we are. And we aren't a spread team with the guys we have. We have 4 of our 5 returning starting linemen back. The 5th gentleman, who's a sophomore, Jacob Mercandante, played a lot last year. We're going to rely heavily on Justin Copco as a 4-year starter. Several Division I offers right now. He's probably about 315 pounds, maybe 320 after the pizza today. Matt Beecham, senior, is about 6'2", 280. Mike Maldacia is about 6'3", 285, junior, and Zach Halenda is about, we'll give him 5'10" on a good day, about 235 pounds. And you throw in the tight end Connor Humber, he's about 6'2", 2 1/4. So it's a big group, but it's an experienced group. They're a tight-knit group. They do everything together. We're going to definitely rely heavily on them. And then you're also going to see those guys on the defensive side of the ball, and then throw in Cameron Holman, who also sees some time at tailback and fullback at the end. He's another 230-pounder. And, I think he has the potential to be a very good football player.
Well, the league is, we'll look at the league, we'll see, hey, this team's got a lot of talent, or this team, lost a bunch of guys. It's a little all over the place, but night in and night out in the Wyoming Valley Conference, it's going to be a challenge for everybody. It's going to be a tough competition. No doubt. I mean, with the kids, we have one goal right now, and that's week 1 with Athens. Not going to lie, we've looked at the schedule, and with the switch from Wyoming area coming down, you got to figure they're going to be the top dog. They're loaded. Myers with the skill kids. Northwest is a 2-time league, defending champion. You got to throw Lake Lehman in there. You figure JR and Holy Reamer are going to be better. Just watching the Unico game, there are a lot of quality seniors. So it'll definitely be interesting, especially early. Well, overall, you talk about the things that you need to work on. How many guys you have coming back as starters, and then what those key areas to fill in this year at Hanover area?
The nice part is, last year we had some off the field discipline. We had it wasn't the culture we wanted. We wound up suspending some kids early, getting rid of some kids, and we had to bring up 7 freshmen. We had to play with them all year. Watching those kids this year in the weight room, they're not your traditional, freshmen going to sophomore years. So that's a help. Returning though, we're bringing 5 guys that played up front, 4 starters back. We had 2 gentlemen who started at tight end coming back. We have 2 gentlemen that started at tailback. We actually had 2 quarterbacks that started. Aaron Humber coming back for his senior year, has 10 games under his belt. It's kind of seems like it's slowed down for him, and everything's clicking. He's having a great summer and spring. We probably have 4 or 5 wideouts on offense. On defense, we have our top 3 leading tacklers back. Our leading interception is back. Our leading interception leader is back. Both D tackles. We're looking at least 8 starters, and some of those kids on both sides of the ball have also had 2 or 3 guys that have started at the position. So we feel we're still young, but we're experienced.
how people respond, whether it's the kids or the coaching staff, from one year to the next. Let's talk about your coaching staff and you personally taking saying, okay, this is where we were, this is where we want to go, and as well as the kids. Where do you think that mindset went from last November/December to here we are approaching August?
You know, we do have some changes in coaching staff. This year, Chris George, who's a Hanover legend, has joined the staff, and him and Jason Majeros have been really handling the defense. You know, we're developing back to a 4-4 team, and that fits what we have. You know, we started that my first year. We went to the 3-3 when we had more athletic type kids, and you know, we're going to stop the run this year. You know, that's our #1 goal. We struggled with that last year. Offensively, Bob Stelma, who's you know, he went to the Harvard, the PSAC, East Stroudsburg. You know, he actually played with Coach Franklin. They were teammates, is running the offense. And we're going to get back to that physical team. We want to be able to pound the football. The joke is our RPOs is to run power off it. And, you know, we're going to be a power football team. We got to control the clock. We got to be a big physical football team. Early on, Justin Copco and Matt Beecham were named the captains. You know, we sat down and had several conversations, and one of the things we're doing a great job is with accountability. Obviously, we can't make the summer mandatory, but we have a point system, how you get to pick your jersey, how you get to pick your locker, and our attendances have been really good. You know, even the summer weight room, we're looking at 30 kids in there, so I'm excited to see how many actually show up there tonight when we get after it.
Well, good numbers, 37. As you said, 25 of those 37 guys hit their goal for their clubs, and obviously it's still a work in progress, but to know that you have closer to 40 than close to 30 is a great goal for a school your size. Coach, we wish you the best this year and appreciate your time.
Thanks, John.
James McCabe is with us from Hanover area. We're talking about the football program. And James, let's talk about your positions this year where you're going to be playing offensively and defensively.
On offense, I'll be at running back, and on defense, I'll be at corner.
Let's talk about your wheels. Would you say that speed is one of the things you do have?
Yeah, I'd say that's about one of the only things I have.
Let's talk about how you're able to do that on track. What events did you compete in track and field?
High hurdles and the 300 hurdles.
As far as having a big offensive line in front of you, have that.
Yeah.
You got to be able to do something with the ball. So talk about what you like about that offensive line.
I like we have some big guys. Justin Copco, he's pretty good. Matt Beecham, he's pretty good. And just running behind those big guys.
Let's talk about the dedication in the weight room for the whole team since December. Do you think that a lot of guys did what they were supposed to do in the offseason?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of numbers in the weight room, probably most ever.
As far as subjects in school, you like math. You're doing pretty well in the classroom.
Yeah, probably my best subject.
Talk about why you like math.
I don't know. I just feel like I have the best grade in there, so it's probably
comes easy to you, huh?
Yeah.
And down the road, you're thinking college here next year.
Yeah.
Anything particular you want to study?
Not yet. I'm still thinking about all that.
And as far as you have a little sister,
yeah,
Lexi. She's only 3, so I'm sure she thinks the world of you.
Yeah.
Talk about anybody else in the family that comes out to watch you play.
My parents come watch me play, my grandparents, and then sometimes my uncles and aunts come.
We'll be rooting on you this year. What's the number going to be this year?
25.
All right, 25. Go get him, James. Cameron Holman is with us from Hanover area as a senior. Cameron, let's talk about your positions on the offensive and defensive side this year.
This year on offense, I'm returning for my 3rd year for fullback, and on defense, I'll be playing defensive end.
Let's talk about the weight room for you, how that went in the offseason.
Actually went pretty well. Like, I didn't expect to get the numbers I did, but I ended up getting in the highest pound club that we have. The only 3 of us got it, which would be me, Justin Copco, and Matt Beecham.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's talk about the family. You got a big family, all guys. So
yeah, quite big. I don't know. They're kind of like an influence, a driving point in my life. I like to try and put them in a better position in the long run and all that stuff. And they really get behind me and support me. So they're at every single game. They really push me forward.
Of course, you got 1 older sibling and 2 younger, so it's a tight group that you guys have. Let's talk about the fun you have with your teammates, what you guys do for fun outside of football.
Oh, my God. Every single time after practice, either we're going out somewhere to eat or we're going to play basketball somewhere. We like to really bond as a team, so it shows on and off the field.
You enjoy what you're doing with the game of football. You're thinking about maybe doing it at the next level in college.
Yes.
Do you have an idea on whether you want to stay close to home, go far away? Does it matter?
I would like to get at least out of Pennsylvania, because I'd be like the first person in my family to do that. But if the opportunity arises that I get a good spot in Pennsylvania, I would stay.
Let's talk about a role model in your life, your uncle.
He's nearing, I think, 60 years old now, but he's a really good war vet. And at some point in his life, he was diagnosed with cancer, and he ended up beating that, and he's still alive, still doing all the stuff that he used to do.
Well, nice to look up to somebody, have somebody rooting for you. Of course, as you said, you have your family out there for you. Let's talk about when you guys are on the field, playing Myers or playing Nanticoke, two schools that you like going against.
It's just so much. It's not like we hate each other, but there's just so much history there. It makes me and my teammates play harder when we know we're going against someone that we're just rivals with.
As far as this year's team, what are the strong points you think of this year's team?
Definitely our returning O-line with Michael Maldacious, Justin Copco, Zach Kalenda, Matt Beecham, and the new kid, Jacob Mercadante. But, I don't know, just the returning players that have so much experience on the team playing together.
All right, Cameron, well, we wish you the best this year. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Yep, thank you.
Aaron Hummer joins us from Hanover area here on the John Mendola Show. We're going to play some quarterback. Let's talk about that role as a quarterback at Hanover. And you got to take a lot in. It's nice when you have a big offensive line in front of you, but nonetheless, you'll have to do the job whether with your arm or your leg. So what are you expecting this year?
I'm expecting a lot of mixed pass and run, which is nice. We could throw the ball around. We have our good receivers, and we could run the ball behind those big guys. James, he's been doing well, so we just got to find the holes for that.
Let's talk about your skill set as a quarterback. Kind of runs in the family, right?
Yeah.
With the name Hummer, talk about learning how to throw the ball.
Growing up, my father and my grandfather helped me start to throw, and read defenses and stuff. That came when I was in high school, and so I've just been like progressing since 9th grade. So.
Let's talk about some of those weapons that you'll have this year in the receiver position.
We have Joe Curcio. He's about 6'1". He's crazy. He's so fast. We have Connor Qualley. He catches really well. He's always a good guy to throw to. Bobby Sebeke. He's a 10th grader, and he's going to be really well. At tight end, we have Connor Hummer. He's a big kid. He's about 6'1" too. Catches like no other person on the team. It's crazy.
You got a big fullback who's pretty nasty behind you as well, right?
Cameron Holman.
That's tough. How about tailback? Couple guys in that position.
Yeah, James. He's been doing well. He's going to be really important in our pass and run game. During our scrimmages, 7-on-7s, he's been really important to that. Going down the field, running routes, stuff like that. Cameron getting out there too in the flat, doing outs and stuff like that, blocking, protecting me.
Let's talk about track and field, another sport that you compete in. What you do in those?
I just throw javelin. At districts, I got 5th place. So
let's talk about your sister Madison, who's a little bit older. How you get along with her and what she's up to?
Me and my sister get along well. She's at Wilkes right now doing communications, and she's much smarter than I am. I wish I could live up to her academics. So.
She must be really smart because you're 3rd in your class with a 4.0, which is pretty good. Science and math, a couple of subjects you like. Talk about being dedicated as a student, even though you don't think you're as good as your sister, you're still pretty darn good.
Yeah, I study and I work hard just like everybody else. It just comes natural to me though. I just remember stuff about it.
Let's talk about life after high school, what you want to study down the road here.
Radiology or something in the science field would be nice to do at like a higher tier college would be cool.
Nanticoke is always a great rivalry, usually that last game of the year, and I think it's scheduled that way again this year.
Yeah.
What do you like about playing the Trojans?
Well, I like the ferocity in it. We always get physical with them. None of us ever get along, and they got bumped up a class this year, so that'll be fun playing them.
All right, Aaron. Well, we wish you the best this year. We appreciate your time and enjoy the rest of your summer, okay?
Thank you.
Matt Beecham is with us from Hanover area, continuing the conversation with the Hawkeyes. And Matt, what's your excitement about this team for 2018?
Well, I'm really excited to get the year started off because it's going to be really cool. We're going to come back from our unfortunate season or last year. I know we're going to do great this year. We're working real hard. We got some heavy lifters with us. Our line's real big, strong. I just can't wait to get it started, to get out there, hit somebody.
Let's talk about what it's like in the weight room with guys like Copco and yourself and other players like that kind of set the bar pretty high.
Yeah, it's real cool because everybody lifts a lot. We lift together. We carry each other when we're running. I like the weight room. It's probably one of my favorite parts.
Wrestling is something else you do in Hanover area?
It's my first year doing it, so I'm giving it a try this year.
Let's talk about watching wrestling in Copco's basement and kind of getting involved with that.
Well, usually we'll sleep over at his house and we'll watch like the best moments of like Degeneration X and all that stuff, and we'll play like WWE. It's cool.
So good bonding out time.
Yeah.
Probably some broken furniture that we don't want to talk about Copco's basement.
Yeah, here and there.
Let's talk about the classroom. You enjoy geometry. You're doing pretty well with a 3.5 grade point average. Just a subject that comes easy to you?
Yeah, I just always thought it was cool. My teacher's pretty nice, so she helps us out a lot. So.
Let's talk about down the road here. Criminal justice for college, you're thinking?
Yeah, well, ever since I was young, I wanted to be like a police officer or something with law enforcement, so I always thought that was cool.
Well, we hope you could get and possibly make it as a state trooper. Not an easy task, but we wish you the best there. And let's talk about a role model of yours, Stone Cold Steve Austin, huh?
Yeah, well, ever since I was young, I liked to watch wrestling, and I always thought he was cool because he was like the big tough guy.
Let's talk about some of the skill guys this year. We know you have a big offensive and defensive line. Let's talk about some of those skill guys and what job you think they'll do, quarterback, running back, receivers.
Oh, well, Aaron Hummery's throwing the ball really well. He's working real hard. We got James McCabe. He runs fast, too. He's been putting in a lot of work in the weight room and stuff. And then up at the line, we got Zach Kalenda. He's tough. Justin Copco, he's doing great in the weight room and stuff.
All right, Matt. Well, we wish you a successful season and good luck in your goals going forward, okay?
Thank you so much.
Justin Copco with us from the Hanover area football team. And Justin, this is it, final go-around. These years fly by. What are you excited about here for your senior season?
I just can't wait to play the guys I came into this with. It's I've been starting since I was a freshman, so I was never really with guys in my same grade, but now I'm having a great time because it's all the guys I grew up with, so I can't wait for this year.
It seems like there's been a good bond in the weight room with you and a couple of the other fellows. Talk about hitting that pretty hard.
Oh yeah, I mean it's probably the best weight room numbers for attendance and weight total because everyone it kind of gets a little addicting in the weight room because we're all getting bigger and stronger. The results are easily seen.
Coach McCabe mentioned a little evaluation in the off season that changing the offense and defense a little bit. Talk about your excitement to say, okay, these are the things we're going to do, and hopefully we're going to do them pretty well. It fits our type of personnel we have this year at Hanover.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I absolutely love it. We're going to be a straight smash mouth football team. I love running the ball, so I cannot wait to start playing.
A little run blocking everybody likes. Yeah. Let's talk about over on the defensive side of the ball, what you're excited about with your defense, with probably going to be a little bit more like a 4-4 scheme.
Yeah, I mean, for the past 3 years, it's been more of a traditional 3-front scheme, but now we're switching up to a 4-front scheme, which I completely understand because up front we're going to have 4 horses basically, so we're going to have a very good defensive line coming up front this season.
Let's talk about some of the athletes on the team other than the big guys. We talked a little bit about the tailback. Let's talk about Aaron's skill set, some of the receivers or tight ends that he might be able to get the ball to.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Hummer is a fantastic quarterback. I mean, he started a little bit a lot last year and the year before that, but now it seems like he's getting comfortable with the scheme. He's finding good bonding chemistry with other players, and he's especially, like, the game's starting to slow down a little bit, and he's just picking defenses apart now.
Well, you got some people that are rooting for you in your corner, some younger people. So talk about some of those people, whether it's Elijah or Mason McCree, that look up to you.
Yeah, my little brother Elijah, he's my best buddy. We hang out all the time, and Mason McCree is my coach's son. I love that kid with my whole heart, man. He's a good kid.
Well, you enjoy history. You're doing a great job in the classroom. And West Point's that next step for you. Talk about that whole recruiting process and why it ended up being West Point.
Yeah, I mean, going to West Point next year to play football, and I just love the campus, and I love the idea of serving my country, playing for someone that's bigger than yourself, and I love the chance to play some top 25 football to compete for the national championship.
And of course, you enjoy playing Myers here locally. That's going to be a big rivalry. Talk about having some friends there, or when you're going against them, they're not friends anymore.
Yeah, I mean, probably my best games have been against Myers. I mean, I just love going against them. Most of my friends actually do play for the Myers offensive defensive line. Guys like Mike Horvath, Ryan Maffei, really strong guys up front, but I love playing against them. It should be a great game this year.
Let's talk about the wrestling in your basement with the other guys and,
Yeah.
and keeping the furniture intact if that's possible.
Yeah. Honestly, we always watch like main events like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, and we might watch some stuff in like the Attitude Era. So the guys just come over, we get like Jerry's or Angelo's just in the basement and watch wrestling all night when we have time.
All right, Justin, well, I know it's going to be a special season for you, your senior season. Go get them, and again, congratulations on heading Army.
Yes, sir. Thank you.